Alright, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to look at the market continuing to go up and start considering what I'm going to do with next week's expiring options. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, that way you don't miss any videos in the future. And if you're wanting to learn some more when it comes to selling options, I will have a course linked down below. You can go check it out. Helps out the channel and it condenses everything that I know when it comes to selling options. And this is a strategy that I've been using for many months now, and it's made me well over $2,000 a month. So go check that out if you're interested. The portfolio is back over 90 grand, which is great. If you remember at one point, I think we should look at the year to date, I was all the way down to $65,000 at its valley. Of course, at its peak, 120, so we have a ways to go if we're going to get to where I started, or back to the peak, I guess. And as you may know, throughout the week, I've been making a video every single day to try to accomplish the goal of making at least $100 a day selling options. And today's no exception. We're looking at $161 that I've made in premium. And it's actually more than that because I've added to a previous position. So this $116 total here for this $14.50 strike on Sofi. I recently added $70 of premium to this because I sold a few more options on this particular call. As for the total month in premium, we're looking at $4,300 just in premium alone this month, which is pretty wild. It is well over the most that I've ever made in a single month in premium. And that's probably because I've been selling more covered calls than ever, and the market's been super volatile, so that makes the premiums really good. But the risk is also higher because of that volatility, which we'll talk about when we look at all of next week's expiring options. We can see a lot of these options right here, the Robinhood ones, they're already in the money. So I ended up rolling all of the options that were in the money this week, or that were getting close to being in the money, like some of my Sofi calls. I ended up rolling at a higher strike price later on in expiration, just to give myself a little bit of buffer between now and then. But now I have to start considering next week's expiring options, especially the ones that are deeper in the money. For example, this Robinhood $40 strike call option that expires next Friday. Now you might think I'd be worried that this is pretty deep in the money, but honestly I'm not. And the reason I'm not is because I can continue to keep rolling this, and I don't plan on selling this Robinhood stock anytime soon. I'm just selling these covered calls for income. So if I have to keep rolling for the next year or the next 2 years, it really doesn't matter to me. I was actually deep in thought today, and I'm curious what you guys think. When it comes to rolling calls, we usually just look at the credit gain. So for example, if I were to roll this particular position and I were to go out, let's say May 23rd, and the original one's a $40 strike, and let's say I go for this $41 strike. There's a 60% chance that this is going to expire worthless. I'll make a little bit of credit, so we can see it adds 21 days to the amount of time it'll take for this to expire, but it also adds $40 in credit. Most people look at that and say, that's the maximum gain there. But to me, I was thinking about this. If I were to let this expire in the money, if Robinhood was still above $41 come expiration here, this is actually more than a $40 gain. It's actually, the difference here is the $40 plus the difference in strike price. So 40 to 41 is a dollar times 100 shares. That's an extra $100 more than the original call option if I were to let it get assigned come expiration. And that's something I never really considered before, is not only am I rolling it at a higher strike price, which if I let it get assigned, gains me more money than previously, on top of the credit that I would get from rolling this. So to me, it's not just a $40 benefit, it's actually a $140 benefit. And as you may also know, we have Sofi earnings coming next week. And because of that, selling some call options on Sofi that are pretty far out of the money is actually getting you a lot of premium right now. I have now sold a total of 9 call options at a strike price of $14.50, expiring next Friday. And as you saw in my spreadsheet, the total that we got from this is, I think it said $116 in premium from selling those 9 covered calls. If I wanted to, I could continue doing so because I have another 1,400 shares of Sofi that aren't tied up as collateral right now. I don't plan on using actually all of them, so maybe I'll just stick it to this until earnings come, but it's something to also consider. Anyway, that's the update for today. I did crush the goal of making $100. And as you know, that just gets reinvested back into stocks that I like. That's why we're seeing now I have even more shares of SoFi, because I might as well buy some extra shares while I'm selling options on them, getting that premium and putting it to use. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're doing well. And I hope to see you in a future video. And if you want to go check out the course, like I said, it'll be linked down below. It helps out the channel. I really do appreciate it. And take care.